Hello everybody, I know here, and welcome to... I don't remember what episode in... Higurashi When They Cry. Last time it kinda didn't end. I thought it would. It seemed like it would, but it didn't, so... But yeah, let's go ahead and get in. I got an achievement, but it's... What? Okay, Satoshi and I had what? Okay. Now, I'm not alright, quick save, really quick. All my well-planned actions throughout the day turned out to have been nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Satoshi, had he really been in the same situation as I was now? The friends he had gotten along with had changed suddenly, and for no reason, at least none that I noticed, planned to kill him? Then, fearing for his life as I am, he got a bat to protect himself and carried it around every day to practice his swing. Then, one day, suddenly, he transferred. My blood went cold as a prickling sensation, causing a prickling sensation to course through my veins. Starting near my heart, it radiated outwards from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at whatever he transferred to? Was she the only one who would be able to understand? Was he the only one who would be able to understand me? Would he be able to tell me why it all ended up like this? More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Before I knew it, I was at my front door. The frigid knob was hard to turn. Was nobody home? It wasn't that odd of an occurrence. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the single key attached to my first seal keychain. I stepped into the entryway just as I was about to take off my shoes. A chill ran down my spine. Someone had entered right behind me, like a classmate messing around, standing right up against my back. You're kidding, right? It had to be my imagination. Logically speaking, it was impossible for someone to be able to hide their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. But there was undoubtedly someone behind me. Hey now, Keiichi. How do you know they're there even though they're behind you? Because I could hear the sound of flowing hair. There's no other person. There's no other reason. I'd hear that sound. That was the presence. Because I could hear the sound of them blinking. Keiichi Mibara, there's no way you could hear that. Yeah, really. It was mostly instinct that anything else that was warning me of it. It was mostly instinct than anything else that was warning me of that presence. Common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. It was just my imagination. There was nobody behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. But at the same time, I asked myself, if there was nobody, then what was I feeling? An uncomfortable sensation crawled up my spine. Actually, wouldn't it be better if there was somebody there? If there was nobody there when you turned around, would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all those questions just by looking behind me. But I didn't have enough courage to even do that simple task. Alright, I could try speaking to them. Then the person behind me might answer me. It was a random thought. I didn't care how I went about it, just so long as I didn't have to turn around. If I had calmed down and thought about it, I would have known that wouldn't have solved anything. Who is it? I spoke in such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel them contemplating their response. I felt it. There's no way I should be able to do that. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. That time, I was certain I heard it. As if hesitantly trying to answer my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of someone inhaling. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, however reckless it was, inspired a primal yet fitting solution to this current predicament. A scream. All the force in my body released from my lungs and through my throat, ceasing all thought processes in my head. Suppressing all my thoughts and emotions, I began to collapse like a house of cards, somehow managing to twist my body and look back as I did so. It was definitely there. Right there. Somebody was there. Till the moment I turned around, I brought the area behind me into my field of vision. They were definitely there. Falling face up, my eyes traced the remnants of the presence suspended in the empty space. It couldn't be. They were invisible. They looked like they were there. But were they actually still standing there? As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst free in a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotions was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to extricate myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me. In my state of heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body to the fury. The metal bat held firmly in my right hand as if drawn there by a magnet. A mid-level sweep would be the hardest attack to dodge. I remembered reading something like that from a book about swordsmanship or something. Ah! I brandished my will to fight. The after-image of that amalgamation of metal flashed as it swung from left to right, beating against the entryway. The bat slammed into the right wall, the tip rebounding violently. Very calmly, I transferred the force of the rebound into a sweep to the left. The door of the shoe cupboard was split into pieces. The two swings whiffed through the empty space, but they seemed to have great psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from that space. The attack wasn't the only thing required. I extricated the bat from the cupboard it was embedded in and screamed as I spun my entire body around in a large arc. Ah! My scream shook the air, imbuing my ferocious swing with even more destructive power. Srack! Without mercy or restraint, my violent strike, with a certain fatal force behind it, shattered the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks struck me, but my ferocity had certainly seemed to impact me. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in sweat, the invisible enemy there, but not there, dispersed. I think I know who that is. When I was certain that the enemy had retreated, I locked the front door and latched the chain. No way. I'd only feigned retreat and was now inside my house. Once again, I channeled my aggression and searched the house for the presence, but it was gone. I'd succeeded in fending it off. At that moment, the tension drained from my body, and I let out a deep sigh of relief. I wonder if this is going to be the end or not. I'm not sure. All the emotions I'd been holding back chaotically merged together and began to fly. Hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief all mixed together and began to flow through my body. Unable to deal with each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest. Exhaustion. Exhaustion isn't really, it is a feeling, physical feeling, so I guess. Even in this moment, I remained composed. After checking that all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a little. After clearing my mind of all my idle thoughts, I managed to calm down even more. What was that at the front door? There was definitely something there. Thinking about it, maybe it was just an apparition I dreamt up in my confused state. But I really didn't think that was the case. Calm down, Keiichi. Compose yourself. But no matter how calmly I thought about it, what just happened wasn't a figment of my imagination. It was obviously a supernatural phenomenon, and without a doubt, something was behind me. It wasn't some sort of illusion I saw amidst my confusion and disorientation. Proof? I just want peace. When I asked, who is it? They inhaled as if they were about to answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was in right now was still unclear. Either I had been possessed by the supernatural phenomenon known as Oshiro-sama's curse, or this was a ruse by the villagers who believed in it and were imitating it. Either way, their motives were unclear. The roundabout way it had been done was also still a mystery. If it was perpetrated by humans, that would mean admitting that it was RENA and the rest of them doing it, but it would be solvable. Oshi, Sun, and the rest of the police would surely arrest my enemy. But if it was a manifestation of Oishiro-sama's curse, what would happen? Oishi-san very clearly declared that curses didn't exist. At that time, those words were pretty dependable. But as things were now, with the rising possibility that the perpetrators were not human, he suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oishi-san this was the work of Oishiro-sama's curse, what would happen? I couldn't imagine his reaction. It would go without question that a void would expand rapidly between myself and Oishi-san. With me having so few allies to begin with and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse or not, there was no merit to doing that. I better keep the facts of what just happened at the doorway to myself. It would be better if I didn't add what happened here to the memo behind the clock. There was still the ever so slight possibility that I was actually confused when I thought I was composed, and I was just going berserk in the entryway. Yes and maybe no. How wonderful would that be if that was really what happened? I would be able to refute Oishiro-sama's curse. If I denied Oishiro-sama's curse, then that would mean admitting that Ren and the rest were the perpetrators. If I said that Ren and the rest weren't the perpetrators, then that would mean believing in Oishiro-sama's curse. Predicament. By denying both of those, I would be admitting that I myself was losing it. You are losing it. The three options from which I couldn't choose became a trilemma, of course. They mixed together and formed a whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. Once again, I straightened myself and leaned my head back slightly to cool myself down. Calm down, Keiichi. Accept what has actually happened as reality. Stop thinking of anything more than that. But I couldn't help but think of it. How wonderful it would be if it turned out I was delirious and everything up until now was a figment of my imagination. It is, well, not your imagination, but Oishiro-sama's curse wouldn't exist, and I would still be the bestest buddies with Ren and the rest. I would have to be crazy. You kind of are. That was the first time in my life I'd ever wished for such a thing. You are, you idiot! You're fucking bonkers. Weird! The phone rang noisily downstairs. Generally, there were no calls from me, so I never really answered the phone much. But since my parents were here, I had no choice. I squirmed off the bed and went downstairs. Unusually long with an unusual number of, cuts. Oh, this is the Maibara residence, Keiichi? This is Mom. I intuitively had a bad feeling about this. It was because I thought she was going to ask me to go out and buy some things. So I took the initiative. What? I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner. There's still a lot of them. The other day we went out as a family and bought a whole case of cup noodles. I wanted to get a bunch of different kinds actually, but they refused since the individual packs were expensive. So instead I got a whole case of the mega-sized pork, bone, and ginger flavored ones I like. But my parents don't like strong flavors and didn't touch any of them, so the cupboards were still full of them. So you see, there really isn't a need to go shopping, right? Keiichi, I'm not asking you to go shopping. Both Mommy and Daddy have to go to Tokyo right now because of work. Huh? Right now? This was really abrupt. No, we're already here. We left this afternoon. It's quite a distance to Tokyo from Higurashi. Gunning at full speed down the highway would still take 6 hours. Dad has his license, but since he doesn't like the highway, they usually took the train. It would have taken longer. I'm thinking you might understand since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract. Right now, things aren't going so smoothly. Now that she mentioned it, I did remember that they talked all that time about his job prospects weren't looking so good. Daddy is really sensitive about things like this, so if we leave things as they are, it will affect his work. You know, saying Mommy and Daddy is kind of weird considering the fact that I'm like 15 fucking years old. Part of my father's particular fragile artistic personality. His emotions changed as easily as the fall sky. You could also just say he couldn't take criticism. But something like that can't be done over the phone. Keiichi, this is your father's... can be done over the phone. Keiichi, this is your father's job, so can you support him a bit, please? Anyway, it's just faster to talk about it in person, so there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. As her son, there was nothing more I could say once they started talking about work, especially since they're kind of already there. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Keiichi, will you be fine on your own? It's not like I'll die or anything. Keiichi, you shouldn't speak so lightly of dying. If there's something troubling you, just talk to us. Just talk to us. I believe Mommy will be able to help out. Why not? Yesterday, I did bring up if I died rather abruptly, so I suppose they were a little worried. Really, I was more depressed by the fact that nothing would be solved by telling them. But I didn't plan on dying, at least not while I knew nothing. Not while I knew nothing. I would never allow it. I won't die. I'll survive even if I have to gnaw my leg off. Yeah, see you then. Tomorrow morning, make sure to wake up and eat your breakfast. And don't forget to take a bath and brush your teeth. Yeah. See you. The call ended like that. So my parents went off to Tokyo for business meetings. But Tokyo was far away. They normally did things by phone. The times they did go were normally planned out in advance. It never happened this suddenly. I couldn't say that those circumstances didn't feel strange, or rather, unnatural. Anyway, I only needed to recognize the reality of the situation. But tonight, I was the only one in the house. When my parents came back from work, I'd be gone. Missing. Vanished. Looking back on the series of events of the previous 5 years involving Noyoshiro-sama's curse, it wouldn't seem all that strange at all. Come to think of it, it was getting pretty late. I didn't think it was good that the only light in the whole house was from my room on the second floor. It was the same as broadcasting to the enemy that my parents were gone and this was their chance. First I ran to the living room, flicked on the lights and turned on the TV to a reassuring volume. Next was the study. I similarly turned on the lights and some music. With this from the outside, it would look like my parents were here. Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocked. When I saw the veranda and the laundry still hanging out there, I went pale. That would have made it too obvious. I needed to take it down. I snatched down the laundry haphazardly and erased all traces so that my mother wasn't there. It should be fine now. Ah! The garage! They hadn't gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to Okinomiya Station. The garage was empty, wide open, and in plain sight. This was not good. I panicked and rushed out the back door to close the normally open garage door. It should be fine now. Ah! I needed to get the paper! Mom always got the paper. Since they left in the afternoon, the evening paper was still out there. My premonition was correct. I pulled out everything from the mailbox and dropped it in the entryway. With this, for sure this time, it should be fine. Come to think of it, leaving the cupboard busted like that from my little freakout was kind of bad. I'll just say I tripped and fell. The bat I was holding smashed into it. Even so, just leaving it in this current state wasn't good. I should clean it up a little before Mom got back and scolded me. I remembered there was a broom and dustpan in the closet. I was going to get them. The phone rang once again. Hello, this is the Maibara residence. Oh, is this Keiichi-kun? Is your mother around? She isn't here at the moment. Idiot, Keiichi Maibara. Don't reveal that your parents are gone. You can follow up still. Calm down and take care of it. I think she'll be back soon. That wasn't a good response either. Now they might say they'll call again, or tell her to call them when she comes back. And that's fine. It wasn't anything important. Well then, sorry for the bother. The scenario I feared didn't play out, eliciting a sigh of relief. That call was fortunate in more ways than one. I'd have to deal with more telephone calls coming in from my parents tonight. I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now, but I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I needed to make up a good story to explain that my parents were home but couldn't answer the phone at the moment. They were making tempura and stuff away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they weren't feeling well. Was I going to be safe enough? I was thinking about it on the way back to my room when the phone rang once again. It's like they were calling because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. They'd be suspect my parents weren't here. should have just taken the phone off the hook under the pretense that I didn't realize that it was. But since the phone rang, I had to pick it up. I prepared myself and lifted the receiver. Hello? I stopped hello. I stopped announcing this was the Maybara residence. I had no reason to be kind to someone I didn't know the identity of. But unlike my uncouth voice, the person on the other side sounded goofy and lighthearted. Hello, my apologies for calling so late. This is Oishi from the Okonomiya bookstore. Oishi-san? Is that you, Maybara-san? Good evening. Good to hear you're doing well. Wait just a moment, please. I grabbed the portable handset and rushed up to my room with it. It was the same no matter where I was, since there was no one else at home. But I wanted to be in a spot that felt just a bit safer when speaking on the phone with Oishi-san. Right, like the place you sat there and talked to him before on the phone and had that creepy bitch RENA standing out your door the whole time. Yeah, I'd totally feel safe there. Sorry for the wait. How are things? Anything changed since then? It's that exactly. Something about the brazen way he talked that rubbed me the wrong way. Last time I spoke with Oishi-san was 2 days ago. The day I stayed home from school, I met Oishi-san on the way back from the hospital, and we headed into town for lunch and had a talk. Then, after that, Ren and Mion came to check up on me. Whenever I spoke with Oishi-san, they always knew about it. It was like that since the first time I met him. Today's phone call may as well be found out by them as well. Hello? Can you hear me, Maybara-san? Huh? Sorry. What did you say? I asked if anything's changed since the last time. There wasn't an answer, so I got a bit worried. Not really. The words stopped in my throat. There was a ton of stuff that happened. All of it baffling. What should I talk about? I didn't understand any of it. But I should try asking. If I didn't ask now, I may never have another chance. This night when my parents weren't home, I had no guarantees I'd make it through the night safely after all. Well, Oishi-san, it seems that someone is after me. Really? It could all just be a coincidence, but that day I missed school when I was sick, the two of them came to check up on me. Which two? Rena and Mio. They started asking about how I had lunch with you. What next? They left me some mochi when they came to visit, but there was a needle inside. Fortunately, I somehow didn't swallow it. I wonder, could that have just been a threat? About the needle. It was just one of those common sewing needles you see all the time. It was a hole to spread string through. Not that, Maybara-san. The needle itself. That's evidence. It could be used as proof that they threatened you. Where is that needle? That's right. That's it! I dropped the receiver and rushed downstairs. When I tossed the mochi, I had overlooked it out of terror, but that needle was a valuable piece of evidence. I'd certainly thrown the mochi and needle at the wall together. If it was there, then it would be on the living room wall. But my prudent mother had cleaned that living room wall, and there was not a trace of mochi left on it. Could it be that it dropped in the gap between the wall and the carpet? I frantically searched by running my palm along the carpet, but nothing turned up. I tried moving around the sofa and desks, pulling up the carpet, then flapping it around, but I couldn't find the needle. Did my mom clean up everything without noticing it? It's just 2 days ago. I didn't know what day they collected the burnable trash, but it may still be in the trash bin in the kitchen. I rushed into the kitchen, opened up the lid of the pail, and poured out the contents, but even at a glance I could tell it would be incredibly difficult to find the needle in this pile of trash. I was looking for a needle in a trash stack. I know. I'll try running my hand through it. It was a bit gross, but I was looking for a needle. If I felt a small prick, I'll be able to find it. It was a pretty tactless method, but it was the quickest. I held my breath and started striking the pile of trash with my hand. Filth flew about, and there was nothing more disgusting than this, but it was not the time to be concerned about such details. I continued on for a while, but nothing turned up. I wanted to search more thoroughly, but I was still on the phone. I shouldn't keep Oishi-san waiting for too long. Later, when Mom got back, I'd have to ask her if there was a needle. I hastily began scribbling on the notepad affixed to the refrigerator with a magnet. Was there a needle? I scrawled the words with a red pen, then dashed back up the stairs, where I had been keeping Oishi-san waiting for far too long. Hello? How did it go? I couldn't find it. I was really overwhelmed back then, and, you see, it would be great if you could find it. Keep it safe. That's right, the needle wasn't the only incident. I had to tell him about this morning with the Higurashi. Also, Oishi-san, that isn't all. Actually, this morning, that van was definitely aiming for me. I could say that without question due to the circumstances at the time. Did you see the license plate? I could search for it from here. Damn! I just flipped out yelling at him back then. I didn't look at the plate. What failures on my part with the needle and the plate number. I was so focused just protecting myself that I let some of the most important details slip out of my grasp. I punched my pillow, annoyed at how worthless I was. I'm sorry, I don't know much more than that it was a white van. Nothing to fret about, Maibara-san. Anyone would be shaken up after being hit. I guess all this really is a coincidence, is it? Oishi-san started to hem and haw over the other end. I could imagine him folding his arms. Also, RENA is acting strange. How so? What RENA said on the way home today, asking why I was so much like Satoshi-kun. Now I could say it with confidence, that RENA knew what happened to Satoshi. She knew there was more to it than him just simply disappearing. RENA knows. She knows something regarding what happened to Satoshi, the kid who was demoned away last year. What would that be exactly? RENA said I was the same as Satoshi. She said something to the effect that the way things are going, I'll end up with the same fate as Satoshi. Fate, you say? Exactly what kind of fate did she say would befall you? Transferring out, she said. Transferring out? When said Satoshi transferred out, so given how things are going with me, I'll transfer out too. Oishi let out a stern sigh and then grumbled loudly. Maibara-san, that was probably some sort of threat. Or maybe some type of warning. I thought so too. At that point, I started to think, would it be prudent to sum up everything that had happened up until now as the machinations of some human perpetrator? Other than the theory of it being RENA and the others, I was left with Oyashiro-sama's curse actually existing as the only other explanation. Of course, I couldn't tell that to Oishi-san, except RENA's strange behavior could be proof of either scenarios, whether it was Oyashiro-sama's curse being real or everything being part of a conspiracy committed by all the villagers. RENA was involved. RENA had to know something. RENA was suspicious. What exactly was RENA? I couldn't help but think she was somehow involved with the prior string of mysterious deaths. I seemed to recall that Oishi-san had admitted that he had dug into RENA's past a little. He was probably just downplaying when he said a little, meaning he had actually dug pretty deep, most likely. I wanted to hear about RENA. I wanted to know what happened to her at her previous school, among other things that were still unknown to me. If RENA was somebody I should suspect. No, not that. I wanted to know the truth. Tonight I was alone in this huge house. Even though I said I couldn't count on them, I had lost the security I felt just by my parents being around. It wasn't like this house was some sort of fortress or castle. If a malicious person decided to use brute force, they'd easily gain entry. There were no other residences close to the Maibara residence. No one would be able to hear anything, no matter how loud it was. I had never felt as much resentment towards my father's artistic temperament, and the fact that he had his house built in such a remote location as I did right now. I wondered if I would still be here tomorrow morning, so I had to ask, right now, because I had no idea what the next chance would come. Oishi-san, I have something I wanted to ask about. Please don't keep anything from me. Sure, ask away. Even though he was far away on the other end of the line, this was the most reliable he had ever felt. I wanted to ask about RENA, about what happened at her previous school. Actually, regarding RENA's... I noticed a sound that had been going for a while now. Since I was so focused on the call, I hadn't paid any attention to it at first, but I realized it was the doorbell. Time was 7 o'clock. It was pretty past the time the postman would be making a delivery, and past any sensible time for a neighbor to be visiting. I considered just acting like nobody was home, but that wouldn't be good. That would ruin all the work I had put into making it look like my parents were home. I needed to answer the door. Hello? Maibara-san? Someone's at the door. I'm going to go see who it is. A guest? I see. My apologies. Should we end this phone call now? That would be a problem. No, I'll be back in a second. Do you mind if I just leave the phone on? It's fine. I don't mind. I dropped the handset on my bed and dashed down to the door. Ugh. I needed to make up a good excuse to get them to leave. I had a hunch it was the lady who called right before Oishi-san did. In which case, it would be one of the neighbors who's friends with my mom. I'll just say Mom isn't feeling well and went to bed early. That would be the easiest option. It'd be hard for her to ask me why to wake my mom up if she's not feeling well. The bell continued to ring at regular intervals. Someone didn't answer after you rang the bell so much, you'd normally give up and go home, wouldn't you? Without removing the chain, I opened the door slightly and peered out at the visitor. A chill ran down my spine. I knew it. Somewhere deep inside, I had prepared for this moment. I tried to escape by imagining it was the easiest person to deal with, one of my mom's friends. Yep, RENA. Good evening. Good evening. RENA. There shouldn't be any reason for RENA to come over at this hour. Timing also makes me feel uneasy, because it was just as I was about to ask Oishi-san about RENA. I wish I could have chalked this up to mere coincidence, but those unsettling words from Mion several days ago echoed back at me. There's nothing this old man doesn't know. Are you alone, RENA? Yeah. It seemed that Mion wasn't with her, but that didn't change the situation at all. Why did you come here? Hey, Keiichi-kun, I'd like you to open the door so we can talk. Can I come inside, I wonder? You wonder? Ma, she wants to talk. Come on. It was true that speaking through a chained door wasn't the right way to talk to a classmate. But bitch got creepy earlier, so I think I'll pass. At my house, the chain has to be on at night. Don't worry about it. Then it can't be helped, I guess. RENA pouted rather sadly, but she kept smiling at least. Her effort to keep that smile up was quite pitiful. Even though she was tugging at my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. As long as I stayed like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life wasn't in danger. What I really feared, more than the possibility that hoodlums would assault me if I removed the chain, was trusting RENA enough to remove the chain, and having my friendship betrayed. As long as the chain wasn't unlatched, even if it made my heart ache, I wouldn't have to deal with being betrayed by RENA. Since it didn't seem like I'd removed the chain from her silent urging, she appeared to give up on trying to get into the entryway. Have you eaten yet, Keiichi-kun? No, I haven't eaten. Since my mom wasn't there, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited. I laid down when I got home. I was woken up by the phone and didn't have a chance to eat since I was used up all that time talking. I was going to have cup noodles in any case, and I could just eat one whenever I wanted to. No, not yet. What about it? Then good. Look here. I brought a bunch of dishes. RENA held out a stack of boxes wrapped in a cloth. If I could use your kitchen, I can heat up the miso soup and other stuff. It's fine, you don't need to do that. But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it. Does Keiichi-kun not like that type of stuff, I wonder? There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso soup with lots of ingredients. Like radish, carrots, burdock root, and potatoes, dense and fibrous root vegetables. Yeah, that miso soup looks incredible. I also brought rice, so if you microwave it, you can eat it really quickly. Without a doubt, rice needs miso soup. Stuffing rice down your gullet, sipping miso soup in between ravenous bites. Oh yes, how wonderful it is to be born Japanese. Also, I made some more pickles. I made sansai pickles this time. Before I moved here to Hinamizawa, I scoffed at the mountain vegetables called sansai. But I was captivated by their charm the first time I tried them. Such a deep yet light flavor. The vegetables from the supermarket were tasteless and bland compared to these. If you had to describe them, then they were the vegetables for the uninitiated. To become an expert such as myself, you first had to partake of sansai. It was common knowledge around here that the Ryugu family's traditional pickles were wonderfully delicious. No matter what kind of pickles they were, it goes so well with that fluffy white rice. And also, but wait, there's more! So delicious. It just seems so delicious. Farewell. Farewell to my unhealthy self who said he'd make do with cup noodles. Rena appeared to be in good spirits, and she was offering such a delicious sounding dinner. The stress evaporated from my gut, and hunger reared its voracious head. At the same time, my wariness of Rena suddenly dwindled. Rena did say she was alone. It shouldn't be a problem letting her inside, though the possibility that it was laced with poison still hadn't been ruled out. At that moment, a cold chill ran down my spine once again. I couldn't understand why a sensation had occurred just then, but the voice inside me was sounding the alarm. This happy Rena, speaking of this charming dinner, was dependent on one premise, and that premise was that tonight dinner hadn't been made at my house, meaning it was under the assumption that my mom, who should be making it, wasn't here. At any normal household, 7 o'clock would be around the middle of dinner time. If my mom were here, we'd be eating dinner around this time as well. The fact that she brought over all the makings of a meal at this time was apparently strange. Unless she knew. Then, did she know that my parents weren't home? But there was also a chance that this was a bluff. I had turned on the lights and a bunch of other stuff to make it seem like my parents were here. There was a chance that Rena was unsure if my parents were home. But I had to wonder. The laundry, the garage, the evening paper. There was plenty of signs of them being hastily tidied up. It's hard to say that Rena didn't have a chance to determine if my parents were here or not. But there was no reason for me to confess that right now. I should try holding on to that fact as long as I could. First of all, the chain was still latched. As long as I didn't take it off, Rena wouldn't be able to do anything to me. I'm quite grateful, but dinner will be ready pretty soon. Huh? Is that so? Is that so? I know you went through all the effort and everything, but, well, unable to think of a good way to refuse, my words trailed off weakly. But some of this could work as side dishes, I think. I'm sorry, we have more than enough already. My mom always makes quite a few sides, so... Huh? You have side dishes? With a smile that bordered on a cringe, I dodged her question apologetically. But the feeling I tried to ignore began creeping up on my back again. I spoke as if my mom was setting down dinner right now, but it didn't mesh with what Rena was saying. Rena was talking as if she was aware of some obvious fact, and that I was aware of it as well. So Keiichi-kun can cook. What did you make, I wonder? No, well, it's not that Rena had assumed out of nowhere that I had made the dishes. No, not so much that I had made them, but rather that my mom hadn't. Did you really make them, the side dishes? Did you, Keiichi-kun? It wasn't me who made them. My mom did. She's making them. Right now. See, I'm sorry, but I can't eat what you brought. Rena fell silent at that moment. I felt that the light had suddenly disappeared from her eyes. How about I try guessing what Keiichi-kun's dinner will be? It doesn't matter what I'm going to eat. Let's see. Conversation might appear natural at first, but Rena was firmly in control. I felt like I was being interrogated. Your dinner... I wonder, is it something that can be made with just hot water? Hey now, stop with the insults. I can't believe you belittle my mom's extravagant dinner like that. Tickets sold out, full capacity already. It's that amazing. I tried my best to put on a strong front, but I couldn't grip my teeth quite right. So instead I looked like someone who was borderline hysterical. But Rena showed no reaction whatsoever, even to that silliness. Keiichi-kun, did your mother really leave you dinner? No, she didn't leave me dinner. She's making it right now. It's almost time for dinner. Rena had taken that assertion of mine that my mother was home and making dinner right now was completely ignoring it. I could tell the more I panicked, the colder Rena became. Hey, Keiichi-kun. At that moment, an uncomfortable chill crept in from the gap in the doorway. Is your mom home, I wonder? I couldn't keep up this charading war. Rena, she knew full well that my parents weren't home. But I'd come too far to admit that now. Anyway, my parents were here, and we'd be having dinner soon. That was the situation I'd concocted. So I answered. I told her she was here. She's here, of course. I could feel the humidity drying out from the surrounding air. Rena's eyes were becoming even more frigid, piercing me with their gelid glare. Hi. Huh? What do you mean? I tried acting casual, but that facade was torn off me the instant I looked into Rena's eyes. Because guy can't take this shit for... That look informed me of Rena's response faster than she could open her mouth. Why is it lying to me? Because you're being a creepy bitch! I'm not lying. That's a lie, isn't it? It's not a lie. Lies! Rena's outburst sent a jolt surging through my body. Rena and I were still separated by, a few inches of that slightly jar, but still chained to the door to the floor. But despite that, I was still being cornered. My house, which was considered a safe haven until now, had become more like a dark alleyway where no one could save me. So I guess you're dinner cage. I knew now that Rena had already known that my parents would not be here tonight. But it was still so strange when it came to this. Even if she somehow knew that my parents weren't home, there was no way she should be able to guess what I had been eating. But Rena said she'd guess. How could she guess? How could she know it was instant? That's right, isn't it? That I was going to eat. Wait, the cooking repertoire of a man who couldn't do housework is probably nothing but cooking after all. Looking at the statistics, it was the most probable answer. It didn't mean she was guessing. I don't think you'll be forward to this meals. I think having rice and stuff will definitely hit the spot. Calm down, Keiichi Mihara. This is just coincidence. Rena was just reading certain tales of her. So the fact that she was inferring what I was thinking alarmed me. But it wasn't as if she was actually mine. It was being read that she was a demon. Not a demon. Things like that. It couldn't possibly exist. Be like that. Demons? No. However that works. Rena indicated the point my answer was addressing was wrong. The rebuttal was so short that I momentarily didn't understand the words Rena had spoken. Sorry. What did you say just now? Just now you asked me if there was something that I liked. It wasn't long before I regretted how carelessly I pushed forward with that question. Such a simple answer. That was why I wasn't able to comprehend it. Pork bone and ginger flavor. Oh, nailed the hammer right on the head. Jesus Christ, that's creepy as fuck. I wondered how I appeared in the moments my mind went completely blank until the moment I was able to recover. My field of vision began to distort, slowly swirling in a counterclockwise direction. I lost all sense of balance. Why do you know that? I didn't even deny it. That was the type of frenzied state I was in. How could Rena even know this? Not even caring as I mashed my head against the door, I fixated my gaze on Rena. She didn't even flinch when she saw me do that. I certainly did buy them a bunch of them at once. I bought a whole case. How could you know that? Why, I wonder. Quite strange, isn't it? Isn't it? How could you dodge the question at a time like this? The chain and the door suddenly were no longer protecting me. How do you know? Why do you know? Answer me! You bought them at 7th Mart, didn't you? A shiver ran up my spine. I tried covering up with an angry facade. Like I said, why do you know that? I was behind you, following you the whole time. What are you saying? I couldn't understand why she was saying she'd been following me all this time. That's because Rena was right behind Keiichi-kun's back the whole time. Like that night? That night I was absorbed in my phone conversation with Oishi-san. I didn't even sense her being there, standing behind the door, behind me, standing there, just like that. When Keiichi was picking out the noodles, I was watching the entire time. You picked out so many different flavors, didn't you? Then your mom got angry. If you're going to pick the expensive ones, then you should just pick one type, she said. Then Keiichi-kun picked out that big box of pork bone and ginger flavor that he loves so much, didn't he? I like it too, pork bone noodles. But I could never eat a whole big bowl myself. My brain was paralyzed, dulling my senses. It might have been a defense mechanism to diminish the fear I was feeling to non-traumatizing levels. With the fear being diminished, the fog enveloping my mind was cleared away. Then I could understand what RENA was saying and started to put meaning behind her words. Even so, my fear hadn't subsided completely. It was like I was standing at the edge of the cliff, eyes closed so I didn't have to look down. It didn't exactly solve any of my basic problems. I slowly took a step backwards, and as I withdrew, RENA advanced. So, Keiichi-kun, can you open this? We can eat dinner together. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. So, okay? RENA's pale, slender fingers squirmed through the crack in the door, one at a time, as if they had a mind of their own, rattling the chain. If she had unlatched the chain from the door, a feeling of terror would have just exploded within me. But RENA didn't do that. She was simply imploring me to remove the chain. She was doing her hardest to light the fuse to the powder keg in my heart. Trying again and again, clatter, clatter. But it doesn't light. It doesn't light. Open up, Keiichi-kun? Please go away. I beg you, please go away. How can you say something so mean, I wonder? Please go away! Go away! Go away! The powder keg inside me finally went off. No smoldering. It just exploded. I tackled the door. That would, break all her fingers. The force through the door had knocked RENA momentarily off balance. If you tackled the door, you'd break your goddamn fingers. Seriously, I couldn't hesitate here. I grabbed onto the doorknob with both hands and planted my feet firmly and pulled with all my might. But that slamming sound I so desired didn't happen. Wait, does it open from the inside or the outside? Does it open in or out? It would have to open in because the chain would be useless if it opened outwards. I could feel a tiny, disturbing bit of resistance keeping the door from closing. The source of it, that was RENA's fingers. Each of those fingers wriggling, squirming around like the tendrils of a carnivorous plant through the crack of the doorway. It hurts, Keiichi-kun, it hurts. It wasn't a harsh shriek, but more of a yelp she was trying to keep back. Go away, go away, go away! I kept on pulling on the door with all my might. Why does it open outwards? That doesn't make any sense. I've never seen a door leading outside that opens outward, except for a screen door, never an actual door. I didn't even realize that if I didn't loosen my pull on the door, at least momentarily, RENA wouldn't be able to pull her fingers out, and that was why the door wasn't closing. It really hurts, Keiichi-kun. I'm sorry if I mess around too much. I didn't care one bit for her apology. No matter how much she apologized, I didn't change. It didn't change any of what she had done up until now. It didn't change anything. It hurts. It hurts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go away. Go away. Go away! RENA couldn't leave even if she wanted to because I'd trapped her fingers. RENA's white fingers had become deep red, were no longer even squirming. Sorry. 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 Go away. Go away. Go away! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. RENA's apologies were occasionally twisted with pain, like a broken record. She's intent on repeating it over and over and over. Go away. Go away. Go away. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! I pulled on the door even harder. Finally, RENA's fingers were somehow able to slip out from their imprisonment in the doorway. The moment that happened, the door closed soundly, and I could hear the thud of Rena falling on her butt on the other side. I locked the door immediately. Made a loud clunk, voicing my rejection to Rena. I'm sorry. Peachy-kun, I'm sorry. Without Peachy-kun. Rena leaned against the door, apologizing profusely and nothing else. After confirming that I had sufficiently sealed off from her, I trudged away from the entryway. On the other side, I could still hear Rena echoing her apology. I'm sorry. Those pitiful words. They would be forever seeking my forgiveness. I didn't feel bad about this at all. But this wasn't out of any sort of malice. I just felt sort of hazy sense of relief that I was able to escape from Rena. Before, Mia threatened me at this doorway, saying there was nothing she didn't know. Just now, at the same place, Rena told me the same thing. Feeble attempts to disguise the fact my parents were home and served no purpose from the start. I should have just pretended to be out and not even opened the door. My new plans hadn't helped at all. Misawa, it was impossible to help with that. Even though I was on the other side of the door, I wanted to get as far away from Rena as possible. One step, two steps. With each one, her sniveling apologies became more distant. I sprinted up the stairs and dove into my room. Finally, no longer able to hear Rena repeating Rena's apology. Diving into my bed, I was startled by a hard lump I felt. There was something in my bed? It was the receiver. I finally remembered. I was in the middle of a call with Oishi-san. Looking at the clock, apparently not much time had passed since I went downstairs. Could it be that my clock had run out of batteries? I had talked with Rena for so long. How did almost no time pass? But the hand of the clock was ticking forward. 1 second every second as usual. As I put the still warm receiver to my ear, time, which felt frozen, began moving once again. Hello, Oishi-san? Sorry to keep you waiting. No, not at all. I didn't wait that long. It became apparent that the amount of time that had passed between myself and Oishi-san was different. Over the phone, I could hear an energetic voice from a sports program or something. It drove home just how far away Oishi-san really was. Rena came just now. Did she come to play? I wasn't confident that I could coherently explain the situation to Oishi-san, but I didn't need to right now. Right now, I needed to know about Rena. That's right, I was planning to ask Oishi-san more about Rena, but Rena's little visit had interrupted the conversation. What was true and what was false, I couldn't tell. One thing I knew was the single grim reality that Rena was suspicious. I might be able to figure out something if I had asked Oishi-san about it. Up until now, I had regretted it whenever I forced myself to ask about things I was better off not knowing. But looking at it that way, you could say I'd hit rock bottom. There was no possible way I could feel any more regret than I did right now. No. Rather, I wanted to know if there was anything beyond this. I would regret more. Forget about tomorrow. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility for something to happen tonight. I wanted to know everything I could. I was absolutely not going to die like this. Not without knowing anything. I definitely won't. Regarding Rena Ryugu-san, I did a bit of digging. Yeah, well, it wasn't much. I understood that Oishi-san was talking in circles. A bit. Meant I dug so deep it'd be hard to discuss with you since you're her friend. I wanted to know everything from your research. I don't think you'll be very interested in what I have to say, though. Oishi-san. I spoke as calmly as possible to Oishi-san, who was continuing to avoid the issue. And then I said it. I think Rena Ryugu is suspicious. Even if the past incidents were from Oyashiro-sama's curse, Rena Ryugu is involved. Do you have some sort of proof that makes you believe Rena-san is suspicious, despite what just happened? The manner in which Oishi-san spoke became very firm. Some sort of proof. That was him talking as a detective. I only have circumstantial evidence. I see. I could tell even over the phone how disappointed Oishi-san was, pulling on the fishing line when he felt a bite only to reel in the bait. Disappointed but ready to cast the line once more. That's how it seemed. Oishi-san, you can't do anything without physical proof, can you? What I meant was, you can't come and save me without proof. I stuck that barb in there. As Oishi-san loved roundabout ways of saying things, he understood me just fine. It's fine, Higurashi. I'll protect you. That's not the least bit reassuring. Oishi-san was just using me to continue his investigation. I was just going to get killed, and my corpse would be an important piece of evidence. That was all I was to him. Whether I'm alive or dead will be no concern to your investigation, but it's all over for me when I die. Oishi-san went silent on the other end of the line. I may have been too bold, but I didn't care. All I needed to relay to Oishi-san was I was currently in a very dangerous position. So please, tell me about RENA. Satoshi transferred out. Not too far in the future, I'll probably also do what RENA called transferring out as well. But you won't be able to find my corpse. You haven't even been able to find Satoshi's body. Alright, Higurashi, please calm down. I was already suppressing my agitation even without Oishi-san having to tell me. It wouldn't solve anything if I continued to scream about my mistrust in the police. It would seem that I could only depend on myself and the bad Satoshi left behind to protect me. Then I at least wanted to know about what happened before RENA transferred schools. You're aware that this won't be very interesting, right? Oishi-san, realizing my resolve couldn't be swayed, finally came. Right now, to me, there is nothing that I'll find uninteresting. Right now, to me, there's nothing I'll find uninteresting. Please. There are a few things I need you to agree to, okay? Please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested? It might not be true. I don't understand what you mean. There isn't one main investigation for the mysterious chain of deaths in the Higurashi. Each one is treated as its own individual case. Thus, RENA Ryugu has never been linked to any of the investigations. Basically, you see, this isn't an investigation of RENA done by the police, and is a personal inquiry, is what you're telling me. This will make things a lot quicker since you understand. All of it is either from phone calls or meetings and interviews, so they aren't corroborated. I'm asking you to take this with all with a grain of salt. That's what I meant. Do we have an agreement? All of it is just from what you heard? Yes, my apologies. It's all my personal investigation, you see. That thing. Before you said you saw RENA's chart, didn't you? I'm sure I heard you say that. Oishi-san paused for a moment on the other end of the line. I told you that too? Please pretend you didn't hear anything about that. I didn't care about Oishi-san having certain obligations and responsibilities. I also didn't care if there was no proof. Even if they were just rumors, there's no smoke without fire, after all. Please, tell me, Oishi-san. Understood. Oishi-san finally opened those tight lips of his. It seemed that RENA lived in Higurashi a long time ago. She moved to Ibaraki Prefecture after she finished elementary school. Then, following that, right after the transferring, the unfortunate incident with the breaking of the school windows appeared. Then RENA confided to the doctor. It was Oishi-san. This was all that he knew. There isn't much difference between what I know and what you know, Mibara-san. And what part did you investigate further? I didn't need to ask. It was the incident that happened just after she transferred. The incident RENA was responsible for and what she divulged to the doctor afterwards, correct? Yes. After you learned about that, you started suspecting RENA and the others, didn't you? Yes, I did suspect them. So they're the ones after all? No, that's not what I meant by suspect them. Oishi-san was the type of person to say things with confidence, but these particular words were less than reassuring. Then who did you suspect? That it was Oyashiro-san. Huh? That Oyashiro-san's curse really exists. Yeah, right, well... Oishi-san's laugh was quite dry, certainly not the kind that would make you want to join in. Oishi-san resumed the conversation about the dubious circumstances behind Satoshi's disappearance. The course of events up until the start of delving into RENA's past. Just then, there was thunder in the distance and heavy rain started falling. It came without warning. Rain so heavy it felt like it could beat me down. I left the window in my room open and cracked to let the beat out. The violent wind danced into my room, making the curtains flap wildly. What is it? Nothing. It suddenly started raining heavily. Sorry, please continue. I got up while still on the phone and closed the window. I said at the beginning it was an incident, but neither the school nor the victims filed charges, and the police were never involved. So, you see, those involved were very reluctant to talk, regardless of there being a victim who had one eye beaten so badly it had permanent damage. It could have been the school or possibly some individual who made arrangements to keep things uncovered. Also, the psychologist was very strict about the professional aspect. Hello? Hey, Bar-san, can you hear me? There was the figure of a person standing by the light box near the mailbox, near the mailbox this whole time. Even in this torrential rain, they didn't have an umbrella. They were unquestionably drenched from head to toe. In this shower, which more resembled a waterfall, droplets of water dripped down from her hair. Just standing there, both arms dangling at her side. In one hand was a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. Her eyes focused on my room, focused on me as I was about to close the window. Her mouth, methodically feeding, chewing. It was as if she had something hard to chew in her mouth, with her cheeks popping out. She was eating. How could it be that at this time I was more enthralled by RENA instead of a shocking development brought to light by Higurashi? If it hadn't started raining, I wouldn't have gone to the window. I wouldn't even noticed RENA. Nor would I have noticed that. His mouth was moving in the same pattern. Eating. What was it? Was she eating? What was she saying? And why was I right up against the window fixated? Hello? Bar-san, can you hear me? Yeah. I'm sorry. Huh? Bar-san? I'm sorry. Hello? Higurashi, what's the matter? Even in his torrential downpour, RENA was still apologizing. The other self inside me drew the person hastily with my right hand, blocking my view of the outside. But even doing that, RENA's relentless apology still reached my ears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I forgive you for this, will you forgive me for that? Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Damn it! Why do I have to forgive her? Remember the whole thing from the beginning of this? I'm the one who wants to be forgiven. You haven't once apologized. What part of me can't you forgive? I won't be killed. You won't forgive me, then I won't forgive you either. I won't forgive. 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 Won't forgive. Won't forgive. Higurashi, if you can hear me, then please respond. Hello? Is that the end of it? Is that the end of this particular chapter? Yes, it is. Jeez! An hour and 45 minutes! Million apologies. God damn, dude! That was a long one! Christ! Oh, jeez. Okay, I think... No, it's been an hour and 44... Oh, God, it's been an hour and 45 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to cut this up a little bit, so I'll read them. Split personality. I see it in movies quite often, but what is it exactly? Multiple personalities are thought to be escapism. Multiple personality disorder is a form of escape? Correct. The exact mechanism is not fully understood, but it's believed to be a type of defense for the brain to obtain mental stability. Hypothetically, poor people imagining themselves as wealthy is a form of escapism, is it? Is it not? Is this also a form of multiple personality disorder? I wouldn't go that far, but broadly speaking, one could infer that. It's something that occurs in us all. Does a split personality occur when one cannot tell which is reality and which is the escape? It's difficult to say. There are some who agree with that, and some who disagree. There's no consensus. Then the occurrence of multiple personalities still an unknown. Then is the occurrence of multiple personalities still an unknown phenomenon? Something not fully comprehended in the psychiatric field? Unfortunately, that is the current state of things. We can only put our hope in future research. But it's sort of cool having a split personality. Kind of people get split personalities. Recent studies find that those who develop it, or rather those who are more susceptible to developing it, may be genetically predisposed or may have abnormal mental development. Some say that childhood abuse increases the chances. Speaking of which, Person A here experienced abuse as a child, didn't he? How sad. Person A has 7 different personalities. Let's watch a video of him. Right after these commercials. Okay. At the 7th Mart. The 7th Mart was a bargain supermarket with food and alcohol. What's this, KG? So many. There's no reason to get all the different kinds, is there? I flopped all the different colored cup noodle bowls into the cart. Cup noodles have gotten so elaborate recently, there are a bunch of different types. I'll try each of them at least once. I knew it was pretty selfish of me, but I thought I'd at least give it a try. KG, buy them in the big case. It's cheaper. Dad faltered. Well, I had a feeling it'd end up like this. Dad knew there was no point in him putting it. And I'd only get one kind. I'd get bored with it. I was resisting with it as a formality. I had already given up on inside. I wasn't sure which case of noodles to get. If you can't pick, the mommy will pick for you. You don't have to rush me. I quickly searched the cases of noodles for what I wanted. Pork bone and ginger. Large cup. Hey, Keiichi, can't you get a more normal one? If I let Mom pick, she'd err on the side of safety and get soy sauce or salt flavor. Salt flavor? Pork bone is good. I don't want a big bowl of tasteless stuff. I remembered insisting that the noodles I picked were the right kind. Oh god, everything's going... In this frozen memory in time, this encapsulated world, I didn't have the power to look around my surroundings. So, I did what I could and reached out with my hearing and vision, sharpened my senses to find the presence I overlooked. No matter how much I searched through my field of vision, I couldn't see RENA. I rewound the situation, searching, but of course I couldn't find her. Then, was she spying at me from my blind spot? I go through the sound and presences again, looking. I could sense the other customers. They're all mixed about, moving as they please. There was nobody looking over this way, and no one trying to get behind me. Not here. Couldn't be here. Probably wasn't here. I would definitely notice if someone was right behind me, even when I wasn't on my guard. I smiled wryly at the thought of using a vague word like probably, right before contradicting it with definitely. Then I paused my mental replay as a chill ran down my spine. There was definitely a presence like a shadow behind me. That was a terror unlike any other. If a presence really manifested behind me, I would definitely have turned around to check for it. But the world had moved on and there was no way for me to turn around. While carrying that frightening shadow on my back, I was gleefully running around the store searching for a case of noodles. Running through the instant noodles section, bad-mouthing my mom. But there was that presence constantly at my back, sticking to me like a shadow. No way to see what it was. Realizing it now after the fact was horrifying and repulsive. In that moment of time, I was running around gleefully, carrying that cardboard box, tip-tap. But listening to that moment again, I could hear footsteps other than mine going pit-pat with every step. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap. Pit pat, pit pat, pit pat. Tip tap, tip tap. Pit pat, pit pat. Tip. Yes, we get the point. While I was running, the sounds of those barefoot footsteps going pit pat were right behind mine. Me running around gleefully in that closed off moment in time. But I didn't hear it. No, I heard it. That's why I remembered it. I didn't think I hadn't heard anything. That's why I didn't turn around. That is why I didn't turn around. But in that moment, the pit-pat of those footsteps were following me the entire time. I couldn't run faster or escape. I couldn't run any faster than I had ran at that time. I couldn't turn around. I hadn't turned around before, not once. Then I returned to my parents and started talking. The shadow-like presence was right at my back. Since I didn't move, the shadow didn't move. That is why it made no sound. That was all. At that time, I hadn't taken a single step while talking with my parents. I was just standing there. This was undeniable, and yet I heard it. A pit-pat. That shouldn't be. If I took 3 steps, it followed 3 steps. Wasn't that the rule? There was no sound other than that. At that time, the entire world had gone dark. A sudden darkness. It was the end of my reflective journey. I was tired. I wanted to end it. Someone turn on the light. Except my body couldn't move, as if I was sewn into that moment in time. Pit-pat. My past self's hair stood on end. That's impossible. That's just breaking the rules. I haven't moved. So you shouldn't be moving either. I couldn't move. So you shouldn't be able to move either. Follow the rules. Pit, pat. Yet the sound echoed in the darkness once again. The hair on the back of my neck pricked up on end. It was close. That it was hard to tell whether it was touching the hair or not. Why couldn't I move? Like how the presence was moving behind me. I quickly realized I could move. It's just that I was scared and didn't want to. But now was the only time I could turn around. It was something unforgivable in this moment in time. But I needed to turn around immediately. As if my entire being was trying to force me to stop, I began to administer a pain like a needle being stuck into my every pore. I'll turn around. I'll turn around. I'm not scared at all. I'll turn around. I'll turn around. I'm not scared at all. A scream I was unable to vocalize. I turned around. At first I couldn't understand the meaning of it. What? What is this? The situation in front of my eyes, it was like a mouth biting an apple and splurting the juice, the way you would do with an apple. My mind was being eaten. It began to munch down, slurping the juices, because it was like an apple. Meaning, what in front of me was... It was a nightmare. Okay, so that is it for this episode. I'm going to have to maybe split this up into 2 because it's almost 2 hours long. So if that is it, then, or if I do end up splitting it up, then thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. This one was good. Oh, this one was so good. Good game. Such a good story. I love it. But, if you did enjoy it, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, and just share it with a friend so they can enjoy it too. If you didn't enjoy it, it's fine. Cool. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Anything you would like to see, praise, news, or whatever. I'm open to all sorts of suggestions. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.